Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Falls Ice Plex. As always, I'm Haley Sutton, where the Argos are hosting the Montana State Bobcats. Now, earlier I told you that the first period had just wrapped up. We're now in the second period, and things are still just as close. The Argos got on the board first in the first 30 seconds thanks to a goal by Eric Gadsden, but the Bobcats came back at the end of that first period, scored two back-to-back goals. But nonetheless, things are all tied up as we head closer to that third period. We'll have highlights in our 10 o'clock show. But speaking of Providence, the men's basketball team and the women's basketball team will square off with Carroll College tomorrow evening over at the McLaughlin Center. And the men's team woke up to an awesome surprise this morning. Helena High senior guard Connor Mergel announced his commitment to the University of Providence last night on Twitter. He thanked God, all of his supporters in the tweet, as well as all of the Argos Argos head coach Steve Keller and his staff for the opportunity. Connor also played football and participated in track during his time as a Bengal, but he says this commitment is a lifelong dream come true.
Ever since I got this little toy hoop and I just, started shooting on it, just, trying to dunk. Unfortunately, I can't dunk now. But, ever since I first fell in love with the game of basketball, my dad's a coach, and I love getting in the gym with him. Everybody that's helped me along the way, I can't thank him enough.
I was just a dad in the whole thing. He has a passion for it. I talk about players wanting to have a passion, hunger, and drive, or a PhD, and that's something that's driven him, and he has that. He's going to one of the best coaches in the country.
Over to Great Falls High now for the annual crosstown swim meet between the Bison and the Rustlers. The evening began with a lot of yelling as the teams joined together in the pool to do some team champs to get hyped up for the big meet. And before the swimming could begin, the aquatic band, which actually consisted of the swimmers themselves playing in the band, they had a lovely rendition of the national anthem. Finally, teams made a splash in the rivalry, and it was a tight race as both CMR and Great Falls found their way to the wall first in various races. Earlier in the week, head coach Ed McNamee told me that the main goal for tonight, however, was to prepare for state. So while it was a big rivalry night, the swimmers focused on improving their times for next weekend. And of course, the two teams took time to celebrate their seniors following the first half of competition. A lot of fun things happening over there for crosstown swimming. Now, talking about some college hoops, it's no secret. We've got the Brawl of the Wild coming up this weekend down in Bozeman. And we're going to talk about the men's matchup tonight first. The Grizz will roll into enemy territory at 7-2 and second in the conference, while the Cats sit at 5-4. Montana State will play the underdog role after losing to the Grizz 15 of the last 17 times they've faced off. The last win came 2 years ago at home. Now, if you can't make it out to that game, don't worry. You can watch it on SWX as we're going to bring it to you live. Here's what both the coaches had to say about some key matchups in the much-anticipated game, sitting around Montana's Jamar Ako and the Bobcats' backcourt duo of Fall and Frey.
Well, and I mean this positively, he's almost square. His shoulders are broad, he's got a good body, he's athletic, he's tough, he talks a little bit of trash and kind of sets a tone, and I like that. He's one of those guys you look at, it looks like it's fun to coach.
They want to outscore you. At the end of the day, they want to try to score 85, 90 points. If you let them, they'll score 100. And so you got to get back on defense. You got to minimize the three ball, and you got to guard those two guys. And then from there, you can't let the others go off.
And speaking of basketball, the high school teams play tomorrow night as well. The Box Elder Bears will host the Fort Benton Longhorns in a clash of 1 and 2 in Class C hoops. But the basketball teams won't be the only ones playing on the courts. In fact, a special group of girls will get a chance to perform on the court as well. Box Elder held its annual cheer camp this week, and the goal was to learn new cheers while raising money for the program. This year, the team hopes to raise enough money for new uniforms. The girls have been hard at work learning new chants and dances. They'll perform at tomorrow's basketball game, but the dance is more than just a fundraiser. Cheer coach Mitzi Tatsy says they hope to bring awareness to the missing and murdered Indigenous women by dancing for their fallen sisters.
We're trying to dance for those who are missing and dance for those the families of those who are missing. And you know, it's kind of, we're dancing to pray as well that they can return home safely. Our t-shirts are going to be red with a logo design that says "Dancing for Our Sisters," and in the Cree language, Nimis is the word for older sisters, and that's what our dance is for. And we're going to be really excited for this.
Like I said, that will take place in Box Elder tomorrow evening. We'll have highlights from that game, but for now, that's your check on sports. We'll be right back.